Welcome to the Real Academy, brought to you each Saturday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time by the
Systems Doctors,
Dr. Sheikah Houston and Dr. Tammy Taylor, best-selling authors, consultants, and speakers of Create and Educate LLC. Create and Educate LLC is an educational consultant and literary firm that provides professional development to schools and community. Their goal is to transform organizations with the REALL resilient framework used to increase their school report card grades 2 and 3 grade levels in 1 year. REALL stands for Respect, Excellence, Accountability, Literacy, and Leadership. This framework is used to coach leaders and teachers and build student efficacy while putting systems in place that aligns the work of the school improvement, making the process manageable. When the work is manageable, teachers and leaders don't stress out or burn out.
the Systems Doctors.
Alignment systems are designed to help schools evolve and grow, all while instituting protocols and processes designed to promote collaboration and collegiality. The implementation of the alignment framework prevents some of the most common problems in education, where leaders sometimes aren't sure where to start, or in our new age of educating, leaders need a trusted sounding board that allows them to be vulnerable and transparent, preventing loneliness at the top. The framework doesn't just help leaders, but also prevents teachers from burning out from too many initiatives and embracing teachers as they are the experts. Finally, the framework extends to the children, helping them get engaged in school and solving a nationwide problem. Alignment systems are frequently referred to as a key element of success in the improvement process. In the sport of rowing, all rowers must put their oars in the water, succinctly creating a system for their boat to reach maximum speed. So schools that want to improve are bringing in
The Systems Doctors
to teach them all about the alignment systems that must be in place for school improvement to be accomplished at high levels. The dynamic duo provides insights into educational topics through their international platform, which includes educators, parents, and community members as a way to support important entities that make communities thrive. This is their way to pay it forward and provide the support they needed through their platform. Take a look. People who work with the
Systems Doctors
describe them as an excellent and inspiring group of leaders. They get into the weeds of work with leaders through their TrustMate Institute that you should contact them about today by filling out the contact form on their website.
It's Super Saturday, everyone. Welcome to episode 187 of the Real Academy, brought to you by Create and Educate with your very own Systems Doctors, HERS. I'm Dr. Sheikah Houston.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Tammy Taylor. Happy Saturday, everybody. Thank y'all for joining us.
Yes, good morning, Tammy.
Hey, Sheikah.
So, for Women's History Month, you all know that we have been building our sisters all month long, and we are going to continue to build our sisters this morning.
Yes, Build My Sister was birthed actually from my dissertation work, and it's all about bringing awareness to the circumstances that Black women face in society, from being heads of households, income disparities, support disparity, but that great impact that can be seen from passionate, effective leadership.
Most definitely. And today we are bringing in the big guns to help us out with this topic, the boss educator, Dr. LaQuanata Nelson. We are so excited to have her with us. So please do all of the things that the platforms do. Like, share, subscribe, send stars, comment, do all of the things, because you all know how these algorithms are, and we need your help.
Yes, we are already asking this morning for the boss ladies autographs. So y'all make sure you're sending up those good vibes because you are in for a treat this morning. Each Saturday, we are so thankful and humbled to be a part of our live stream network, the Fantastic Four, which begins at 10 a.m. with Principal Sean Hurt, who was on this morning and on fire like he always is. And then yours truly, Create and Educate, follows in the Real Academy at 10:30. And then at 10:55, the Leadership Mentor, everybody's mentor that is anything leadership, the GOAT in the AP New Principals Academy with Principal Kafele. And then on Sunday evenings, the PGP podcast with Dr. Moreno and Principal Josh Tovar. So thank you for supporting that Fantastic Four.
Most definitely. So if you are our regular joiners, part of the Real Fam, you know it is time for the Real Fam roll call. I think I got all of the comments, but I'm going to thank you all because you could be doing a whole lot of things, but you were intentional about being here with us this morning, and we do not take that lightly. Chancellor Rashard Davis from Las Vegas, thank you for joining us. The one and only Dot McKeever Jeter, thank you for joining us. Tashika Truesdale out of Atlanta, Georgia, thank you for joining us. Kenna Rowland, Stacy L. Joy, good morning, Queen. AP Patrick Lawrence from Connecticut, good morning to you, brother. Kenyelle Williams, September Devance Vance Daniels, Principal Sean Hurt, once again. Dr. Rella Hicks from Augusta, Georgia, Melissa Jones Chunu, and the GOAT, Principal Kafele, is with us. Alicia Scott, good morning to you, sister. And Edwin Garcia. And I see Josh has just hopped on. He's probably in the gym. Thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you immensely.
Yes, thank you all so much. And I know you are looking forward to this treat that we have for you this morning. So remember, as our real fam, if we say something good during this episode that resonates with you, we want you to drop a BMS in the comments for us this morning.
All right. So that brings us to episode 187 with the boss educator. Welcome, Dr. Nelson.
Great morning, great morning, great morning. How are y'all doing today?
We
Hello,
are
sister.
awesome.
Listen,
You
I'm
are
super
so
duper happy today. The weather, we were supposed to be in the midst of tornado watches and warnings, but y'all, I'm looking out my window and the sun is out. We're not under warning, we're not under watch, and I'm just grateful this morning.
Yes, ma'am.
God is good.
Yes.
And we are grateful too. We are grateful to have you on here this morning.
That's
And
right.
without further ado, we're going to give you the props that you so richly deserve. We want to share your bio so that everybody on with us this morning knows exactly who they are in the presence of greatness. And we thank you again for joining us.
My pleasure.
Bold, optimistic, spontaneous, substantial, Dr. LaQuanata M. Nelson has served in education as a teacher, assistant principal, mentor, district level new teacher coordinator, motivational speaker, and consultant over the last 21 years. She currently serves as the CEO of the Boss Educator brand, where she continues in empowering scholars and all educators on their journey to becoming bold, optimistic, spontaneous, and substantial. Over the years, Dr. Nelson's background and experience in leadership has yielded her to transform underperforming schools in her state, support culture transformations in schools across the United States, and help curate thriving cultures in organizations across multiple spectrums of business. Dr. Nelson has been the recipient of various local, state, and national awards for her transformative work. Most recently, she was named a top 40 of Black leaders worldwide, featured as a 100 top successful women to know from Gulf Coast Women magazine, and named the Lighthouse Business and Professional Women 2024 Women of Achievement in Education, and the best female keynote speaker of 2024. She is now a highly sought after speaker, coach, and author, spreading love and light across the world. And we say, you better do it, girl. We are so proud.
The little country girl trying to tell everybody that they are somebody. Okay?
Do it. Okay.
It's simple. It's that simple. That's what Boss is about. Getting everybody to be, you know, you do not have to have a title to operate in your talent. You do not have to be perfect to operate in your purpose. That's what Boss is about. You're a leader. You are the change that we seek. And so stand up. Do it.
That's right.
Yeah.
We love it. And from one country girl from Mississippi to two country girls in South Carolina, we love every bit of it. Thank you. And we love that you are your authentic self. That in itself just gives so many people permission to be who they are. Seeing it, representation, all of that matters, and you do it so well. So we are so happy that you're here to build our sisters this morning, and we're building you as well, and we thank you. So yesterday I attended a women's conference, and we're just going to jump right in because y'all know the show is short, so we want to get it all in. But they talked about, and this the keynote. She's been on here before. Dr. Tracy Swilly, who is the National Principal of the Year, and she even mentioned it on the show. She talked about how when she was getting ready to apply to be a principal at a high school, she was in her 30s. So the thing that she asked herself was, well, who's going to hire a 30-year-old to be a high school principal? Then it became time to apply for the national award, and she asked herself, well, who's going to pick me? And one of the conversations that came from that was that it is so important for us to tell our stories, because if we don't talk about our stories and the thought process of how we got to where we are, or what obstacles we had to overcome, or how we triumphed certain thoughts and feelings, then other women, that gives them the way to navigate that too, and the example for them to say, oh, well, if she did it, I could do it too. Because I thought of my own experience. I was an assistant principal for 8 years, and one of my mentors was a female. She was a retired principal, and she said, you have this, because I think she could see me questioning myself. You got this. You can do this. Every idea that you have is what should be happening at this school. And so, it just gave me that confidence to move forward. So we want to talk, we want to tell our lived experiences. We'll start with you, Dr. Nelson. Anything that you can just use to encourage the people tuning in.
I know last month was Black History Month, but every month is Black History Month, right? So relevant right now. As you were just talking, like it hit me. One of my favorite pieces from Langston Hughes, and you guys know this, Mother to Son. Well, son, I'll tell you, life for me ain't been no crystal stair. It had text in it. And boards torn up in places where no carpet on the floor, bare. Right? But all the time I've been a climbing on and reaching landings and turning corners and sometimes going in the dark where there ain't been no light. Right?
Yes.
So boy, don't you turn back. Don't you sit down on the steps, because you'll find it's kind of hard. Don't you fall now. I've said still going, honey. I'm still climbing. Life for me ain't been no crystal stair. Listen, I think when we aren't honest about the struggles, we create more barriers for women. And I mean, it just, when we aren't honest about, you know what, I did get the nose. I have had the slaps in the face. I have been stabbed in the back. I have been dot. When we aren't honest about those things, we make the journey seem unattainable for other people. I was watching a clip a couple of days ago, and this was from a Christian conference. This lady said, "Tell it, tell it."
That's right.
He said, "Tell the truth." You tell the truth and you tell it, you stand on it and you say that was then, but look at now.
Girl.
Look at what I have overcome. Look at the victory that I am pressing through in this moment. And so, I laugh all the time because when I get old enough, I'm going to write a book that's just all around this. Right? Hashtag she's still working right now. So I should write the book and change the names out, but I'll give you one.
Ghostwriter, I got you. I'll take it. We won't say who this is. I got it.
But I'll never forget. There was a point when I was assistant principal, and I never wanted to be an administrator, right? I just wanted to be a math teacher, and I just wanted to love on people in math, and then at some point help other math teachers, right? But I was Tad, you are a leader. We need you in these positions, right? There was one point in my career where I was the youngest seated administrator in the state. And I would tell myself, girl, you too young to do A, B, C, D, F, G. Don't go too hard, right? You're the newbie. Technically, you're the youngest. You don't have to. So when I say I have lived those experiences of talking to yourself, self-doubt, because you are the youngest, or because you are the female, or because you're the black. But when I tell you, this is why this conversation is so necessary. You need other people to borrow their confidence from until you get yours. It's so critically important. Confidence. It's important that you need to know somebody can borrow yours and it won't take away from what you have. Your affirmations, right? It adds, it multiplies. This math may not be math, and I'm a math teacher, right? But affirmations and confidence, when giving it to others, it adds and multiplies as we divide it to others. That doesn't make sense, right? You would think, I'm giving it away, then I'm left with less. No. Like the woman that had the cupboard bare, the more flowers she poured, the more that was in there, right? And so it's critically important that we understand in these spaces that others need what we have. They need to hear what we've gone through. Speaking of what we've gone through, y'all, I'll never forget. I had an administrator who she hired me. I didn't even want the position. She called and said, "I need you to be here and do this thing." We were rolling, we were pressing the gas, and I'll never forget. I got a call one day. We were talking about a conference or something that some teachers were getting ready to go on. And she said, "Oh, by the way, Dr. Nelson, I need you to know you're not ready to take my seat." I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "Say that again." I said, "I don't think I understood what you were saying to me." And she said, "Oh, you're not ready to be the superintendent." And y'all, when I tell you my heart, my spirit, I'll never in life forget that. And it's one of the driving forces behind the way I go so hard for other women right now. Because there is this, and let me tell you the stats, because from a logical standpoint, it may make sense. Because right now in the United States, almost 78% of people in education are women.
Yes.
Right.
Only about 24% of those folks in those high educational leadership positions are women. So let me say that again. Almost 80% of us are in the space, and a fourth of us, right, that are in these positions. So from a logical standpoint, you can see why some women perceive others as competition versus, this is the opportunity for me to collaborate and for us to get stronger. But I'll never forget that. And it's a driver as to, right now, so much of the work I do. Of course, I work with schools, organizations, but I do a lot of one-on-one behind the scene coaching. And can I tell you, some of those babies, some of those women, some of them are so young, I call them my babies, right? But they're in situations that are similar to what I just named.
Yeah.
And some decades ago. Do you hear me?
Yes.
Situations where I can't even say out loud, I need help.
Yeah.
Because of the perception.
Because of the perception. And so I am just so grateful. I'm so honored. I'm so blessed that I have a platform and systems and structures and a program in place that, women seek refuge to be built up. So they can wear their shoulders back and run, right?
Wear them back.
Wear them back. It's critically important that you know that you are somebody's solution, right? And as a woman, to
Girl.
another woman, sometimes we just need to hear, girl, you're gonna be all right.
Yes, I
You're gonna
love
be
it.
all right. You got this, and mean
Mm.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I love that you gave that as an
Yes, and I love
example
that.
because it goes right into the next point about community over
Yes.
competition. And
And let me, before we go there, Shika, though, I do want to say this because this, I think it's important for us to just make this footnote. And I salute you, boss. That's what I think Stacey L. Joy said. That's why you're a boss, okay?
mhm,
But what I was going to just bring that back to when I was doing that work with my dissertation, the ladies that were in that study, it was all about lived experiences.
mhm,
And what I have found is that even though our stories are different, they're all the same.
Yeah.
We've all experienced that um, fallback on we don't feel like we can be authentically who we are
mhm,
because we can't seem like we don't know, or you're going to be deemed incompetent.
Yeah.
So what we have to do, and I love the way you phrased it, we are for somebody the solution.
Yeah.
And for us, I thank God that we were able to be what we needed for ourselves, because we otherwise would still be trying to figure out, like, how do we even navigate what we're facing right now?
we
Absolutely. You
we
said
wouldn't be trying to figure it out. We would be in the classroom, honey. If we had to believe the lie that they told us, we wouldn't even be in leadership.
listen, listen, tell the folks to drop that in the comment. Don't believe the lies.
Don't believe the
Yes,
lies. That's
don't believe
right.
the lies.
I'll be honest, sometimes we'll lie to ourselves.
Mhm.
Yes.
So much about understanding how to stand up as a boss is to look at the man in the mirror, and sometimes, and being honest with myself, I gotta tell myself that's a false narrative right there, girl.
That's right.
You are good enough. You are
Mhm.
well versed enough, right? You are knowledgeable enough. You are experienced enough. You are brilliant enough. You
Mhm.
are bold enough. You are resilient, like all the things. And so
Mhm.
don't believe the lies. And something else you said earlier, talking about that authenticity, again, transparency. When I first started moving about outside of the state as a young girl, I'll never forget this. Miss Angela Jones, I've always had women to pour into me. Angela Jones was one of my high school mentors, teachers, all the way up through being an administrator, y'all, because she rose to the ranks, and she was always around. She passed a few years ago, but she was the first reason I ever left the state of Mississippi. She pushed me. She was like,
Mhm.
girl, you're going to represent the state. I represented the state of Mississippi and Indiana for a conference for Future Educators of America. I'll
Mhm.
never forget being in community that day with other people from across the United States. We were all so excited. It was me and one other girl from Mississippi that had to go represent the state. The first time I opened my mouth, people were like, "Oh, you're so country. Oh my God, what? Say something else."
Oh.
Like, and so authenticity. I learned in high school that if
Mhm.
you leave the South, there is this perception that either people are totally like, "Wow, what is that?" Or
Mhm.
the older I got, the more I understood that people perceived the Southern twang is incompetence. And
Yep.
so I
Yes.
will tell you this concept of code switching, right? I got
Mhm.
really, really, really good at it. And even my first couple of years as an adult traveling outside, you wouldn't know if it was a black girl, white girl, an Asian. Like I could code switch, shift it up really, really good. And so after a while, y'all, I felt convicted. I
Mhm.
felt convicted that you know what, LaQuanata Nicole, you
Yes.
are helping feed this perception, this
Mhm.
misconception that folks from the South don't have good sense. And that is
Yes.
absolutely incorrect because we know dialect does not equate
Yeah.
to intellect. And
No,
so
ma'am.
Talk about it.
authenticity for women, y'all show
Yeah.
up who you are. And
That's
Honey, I've
right.
had to say before, I might speak slowly, but I'm not processing on slow cylinders, honey. I process it very quickly. I got it. I got you before you say what you say, and I already know where you going.
don't sleep
Yes.
on me. Don't sleep on me now.
And we're gonna have to have a part two, obviously, because I also battled that too with my the way that I sound. I didn't want to hear myself recorded. I was always self conscious about it. And I went to a conference, and a man told me, it was a writers' conference. He said, sister, your twang is your charm. That's a part of who you are. You sound beautiful. You're intelligent, and I ain't think no nothing else about it. I ain't shut up since. So that building, that confirmation, it is needed. But the community over competition, we are pitted against one another. It's as girls, it's always a competition from the beauty pageant world to you're always competing with somebody, and we're not taught to build community, and community is what we come from. When you look at ancient civilizations of where our ancestors thrived, women walked in community, they did everything in community, they thrived in community. But what we do is subscribe to Eurocentric practices where we're more individualistic,
Oh,
and when things happen, we isolate ourselves. We don't want to tell people what's going on with us because we want everybody to think everything's great. We want the profile picture, the look that, oh, everything's wonderful, and it may not be. And so telling our stories, building that community over competition, we've got to do that in order for women to be built, to build our sisters every day. Go ahead and close us out, Dr. Nelson.
You're talking about centuries ago. I can tell you as a little girl growing up in the country, even for like we used to have massive Sunday dinners, like on Saturdays. Like it was my great aunts, my aunts, my mom. Like it would be sitting around picking greens. It would be sitting around like getting the peas. Like it was, even with that, right? There was community in everything that we did. If I can be honest, even right now with me on Sundays, Saturdays, like no, we're not sitting around having those same type of conversations. I'm on the south, somebody's in the east, like we don't take that time. And so I think it's critically important that we come to the realization that, you know what, I do need you, girl.
Yeah.
I do need my sister. And I'll tell anybody, I lost my only sister in October. And I can tell you this now more today than ever before. You do need your people.
Yes.
You do need your people. They do make you better. They do sharpen you. They do care for you. They do hold you, right? And so if I had to say anything, find your people, right?
Yeah.
Yes, there are always going to be some people that don't want to be in community with you because you're viewed as competition. But I want to tell you, don't allow others' lack of confidence to deter you in operating in your excellence, right? So many times we'll minimize who we are and what we can do because we're afraid, oh, she's going to say, I'm doing too much.
Yeah.
Hashtag it's 2025. And I don't know if you looked around, but when I'm looking around, you better show up to all the you, the realest version of you. It's needed more than ever before. And so don't allow others' feelings, right? You're not responsible
to dictate what you got going on.
You want to share some of the light, share it.
Yeah.
Encourage them, affirm them. But in that affirming, don't let their insecurities dictate how you move in the world, because y'all
know who you are.
Know who you are. Your days are numbered.
Yes.
Your days are numbered.
No.
Yes. Thank you. And we're sorry for your loss. We're definitely going to have a part two, because building my sister, you said Black History Month is every month, honey. Building my sister is every day.
Yes.
So we will definitely have you back. You all have a great rest of your Saturday.
Yes,
Thank
y'all.
you all for
so
joining
much.
us. And be sure to tune in to Principal Kafele next.
Yes.